Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and I hope you're ready for a big old box of what was Ben thinking. Thanks so much for watching today. We're sending in some stuff, getting it back from the NGC, and got a little bit of some different stuff mixed around. We got a cracker here for a customer, and then we got better date coins, and we got a little bit of everything. So, as always, we'll go through some of this stuff, talk about it together, and enjoy. Please like, subscribe, share, and I will tell you exactly what happened here because it's not just me, folks, that's getting thwarted anymore. Oh no. We had some tubes of dimes and nickels and other items that we got through, came through the shop, and actually the engineer was like, I'm gonna pull some of these dimes that I think will come back a nice grade and full bands. And I'm a little intrigued on this guy here because look at those bands. So the full bands is talking about the bands across the fasces. That's that axe there in the middle of the coin. And that center band should be split. And MS65 on this guy. So this type of thing, of course, folks, don't try this at home. You know, for the most part, I do still recommend you buy coins like this that you enjoy instead of, you know, instead of sending them to get certified, because you know, a coin like that is, I think, you know, whatever, a $20 or $30 coin. It's not worth the price of admission, as they say. And I was super excited when I saw this one because it's our favorite friend, the wheel mark. And for those of you who don't know what the wheel mark is, so the coin counting machines, they leave these really bright, fine lines, and they're really hard to see. They blend in oftentimes with luster. In fact, I'm waiting for y'all to look at this coin and tell me that you can see where the wheel marks are, because you can still see luster flowing, and it's very, very deceptive to look at. So I'm, you know, looking at this coin here and this one. Let's see if we can find that wheel mark together. The nice thing is they told us the wheel mark's on the reverse of the coin. So usually on, like, we see this on Washington quarters and Franklin halves, you will see it across the highest point on the coin, which would be over the fasces again. So I am looking for the wheel marks, and y'all better help me out here, because so what I'm seeing is some fine lines, possibly in this open field here, but now I'm just wondering. Y'all can scream at the TV that you see it and know where it is, because I'm pulling it away from y'all so I can see it up close, a little closer for myself, and not seeing it, folks. Not seeing it. All right, so here's another 43S, also from that same group. We had, I think we sent 3 of them in here. And you've got to get a really high grade and a full bands to make these worth sending in. You'll notice on this coin, it is immaculate except for the one little hit on the cheek there. A little bit nicer grade than that 65 was. And let's look for that full band. You know, they're splitting hairs because that other one they didn't call a full band, and this one they did. You know, and so a coin like that is probably, you know, a $90 to $100 coin on that one. So I was about to laugh as I say we made money, because you know, as long as we don't count all of the other things that went into this, we made money. All right, one more 43S, because I can't count. Another one that the engineer pulled out that he thought might be a high grade, might go full bands. 64 full bands. So that is also not an expensive coin. You know, another $25 type coin. So you can see just how hard it is to get. I mean, these coins all look very comparable, and that's why I say just, if you like the coins in the holder, just buy them in the holder already. You don't want to be chasing this stuff down all day. 43S, Washington. Woo. All right. Thomas Jefferson is in the house, and that's his home right there. And this coin here, we're looking for a really high grade on. Also, it is fun, like a little bit like Christmas when you send coins off and you wait for them to come back. And especially if you're trying to get high grades on coins that are more common, you know, it is a challenge. So, you know, there is that element of, okay, I'm going to find something fun here and try to get it a high grade. MS66, nice grade, but still, once again, you know, that becomes like a $30 type coin, and the type of thing that if you like raw coins and you put raw sets of these together, then you can always go ahead and find them at coin shows and your local coin shops, and usually they'll be $10 to $20. Oh, I know what this is. I switched gears here. 1921. This is like one of the more gooder dates on the Standing Liberty quarters, and you'll see the high point on the coin was actually where the date sits, and it was a design flaw, because that basically, if you look, the rim and that pedestal, the stair step, whatever Liberty is standing on, are both at the highest point. So those dates wore off like instantly, and so you can have a decent amount of detail on the coin and have no date. So luckily, there's no other coin that ends in a 1, so you can tell 21s on these. This is a coin that the history of it is, I think we had it on our website raw for like $165 or something, but a VG10, you know, we're going to get probably a $225 or something for that coin now. So you know, but really even then, it's after you pay for your submissions and stuff. You know, thankfully that came back a grade that's decent. You know, it came back straight grade, nice grade, and you know, that kind of works out okay for us. So this 1827 is a customer's, a beautiful coin. It was in a PC holder, AU details, and so, you know, he wanted to try to get it in a straight grade holder, and so you can see on the coin it's got really nice luster to it, just a touch of wear on the cheek. You know, you're missing a little bit of luster across the body, and the reverse is really quite nice. And you know, the reason for someone to crack a coin like this out and get it sent back in is to try to get that straight grade, is because, you know, with a coin that doesn't have a details grade to it, it's going to be worth probably several $100s more than the coin that says cleaned. So this is cool because it's got the clash die there, those marks coming down. Actually, I think that one is not a clash die. I think that's actually die breaks. I'm sure that's in the Overton book, which is a book on varieties for earlier $50. So interesting coin. You can tell me whether or not you think you would call it cleaned. You know, when it comes to cleaning on there, it's weird to me because when it comes to cleaning, there are several different camps. They still called it cleaned. You know, I think that there's different levels of originality in cleaning and things that you call clean, and there's a lot of coins out there that are called clean that I think have a very original look to them overall. You know, the one thing that you'll say about a coin like this is, so if you look between the eagle and the ribbon, the pluribus unum, right up in here, what you're going to see those fine lines popping up? So you can argue that that is a cleaning, right? There's the lines. There are the lines. And they pop up right when you get the light on them at the right angle there. So, you know, if someone takes a eraser or some other thing abrasive, it'll leave lines, little marks like that. You know, but also, I don't know how to account for it exactly, because this coin doesn't really have any other signs of cleaning other than it being bright. But there's plenty of bright coins out there that are not labeled as cleaned. Anyway, I will move on away from that subject because it is tiresome for everyone but me. All right, so this is actually cool, guys. If you want to do some type of coin roll hunting and cherry picking, believe it or not, there are coins out there that are double dies that are fairly obvious and not too expensive. This 1974 Denver double die obverse is actually a coin that you can almost see it. You can almost see it with the naked eye. The way that the words trust is doubled. It's fairly obvious with a basic loop, 10 power loop, when you get it in front of you to see the doubling. And as always, filming it through plastic's a little bit harder. But it is the type of thing that it's a pretty cool coin overall. There's a decent shot of, look at the top half of the U, and then you see the R doubling. And it's a cool coin. They're not that expensive. This came back in MS64, and I think this is a $60 type coin. For something that we don't see often, it's not too expensive. All right, let me show you some classic coins, and then we'll get back into the engineer. Also was doing some more star hunting, and we'll get your opinion on whether or not you should have stars upon ours. So this 95.0 better date coin for Morgan, a little bit more scarce. All the 95s are more scarce, and New Orleans Mint not any different. And so this came back at VG10, nice collector grade, probably a $200 to $300 coin on that guy. For someone who's trying to complete a Morgan collection with dates and mint marks, that's going to be on your hit list. So the classic coins we had were actually all better dates, semi-better dates, and better dates. This 1916 from Denver, which like 99.9% of them all come back the same grade. That is AG3. And you want to talk about the difference of whether or not you call a coin cleaned and how forgiving you are on it. Because coins circulated, they're going to get a clean look to them. This straight graded, but also this coin is bright, for a circulated coin. And so my argument, or my working theory now, I guess I would say, is that it would be cool to have, like, how you had as a kid, you had like the rainbow chart that would show, or the color wheel that would blend colors. What if you did something where you had, for circulated coins especially, like from left to right here, you go for your different shades of gray. Sorry to use the terminology there. Books and movies ruin things for me here, but if you had something to say, okay, different levels of brightness and quality. All right, that 16D is, those trade for still $700, $800, $900 on those guys. Back to what the engineer is up to here. The 70D and MS something or another, right? He pulled this coin out. Now I shouldn't schadenfreude it here on you guys, but he pulled this coin out because he thought it was a really high grade coin, and it came back as 64, which is okay. It's uncirculated, but I want to relive the magic of this 1968D that I sent off. That is like 10 times as nice. This should be like an MS79, but of course only came back a 5. So collectively we suck. There you go. So 1964. This is the accented hair variety, which is something that collectors really like. Basically, you've got a different engraving than on some of the other coins, which I like to look at it this way a little bit. We'll talk about right above the ear at that certain angle. It basically looks like there's a W above his ear. You see that? And then that whole area above the ear is kind of the focus area for where there's some deeper engraved lines on the hair. And the cheat on here is actually to look at the eye, and you see it's missing the bottom left serif. It just has a little nub there. The serif is little points that come off of the lettering, right? So serif, 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 missing serif. That's how that works. Didn't talk about this coin because it's He put not for sale on it, which is fantastic for lots of reasons on that. Came back at proof 66. That is probably about a $75 coin. That's the type of coin that collectors look for in sets, to try to cherry pick sets. All right, 1961. Oh, okay, so this is actually a D over D variety. Let's see if we can see the D over D here. You can see the lowered mint mark beneath the main mint mark. I'm going to go in with my 20 power and see if we can get a closer look at this guy. The answer is probably not at a good enough angle here. The funny thing is with lighting and angle, just how at certain angles things really pop up and others they don't. So it's funny because if you just glance at it at this angle, you know, you're like, oh, it's a D, and then you kind of get it over here and you can see all the other stuff working underneath the top D that you see. MS64 on this D over D, probably a, you know, $60, $70, $80 coin. Hard to say exactly. Those move around a little bit. So this is fun. I don't know if this is ours or not. I better go look. But this is the capital of Arizona at Phoenix. Check that out, y'all. So this got in the box. I think it probably came in a collection and they decided to send it in. This is in the so-called dollars book. Kind of fun here. Dedication, souvenir, seal of the territory of Arizona. Well, that's cool. That was the territorial seal, which is, of course, you've got mountains, and you guys probably don't think of Arizona as a place where they've got pine trees, but really the whole northern portion of the state does. And I'm laughing here because this is this supposed to be a tombstone? Maybe an homage to something else. Ditat Deus, February 25th, 1901. Really a pretty cool medal, all in all. One that I haven't had in a long time. And the so-called dollars, those are a lot of medals that were produced in the early 1900s, a lot of them for exhibitions and things like this dedication of the state capitol. And so that whole book will have lots of these. They were larger medals and tokens, medals really, that were the size of dollars, and so they called them so-called dollars. Also on this, just for you to know, the Phoenix ended up with the capital. Do you guys know what happened? What Tucson got and what Yuma got? So they were negotiating different things here. Tucson got the university in 1885, and Yuma got the 310. If you don't know, they got the prison. There's actually a state site down there, the historical prison. And then for those of you like Westerns, you know, you've seen the movies 310 to Yuma. All right, so this is fun. This is actually a specialized type of Civil War token called a sutler token. And for those of you who don't know what that is, so the sutler tokens, these were basically traveling, well, before there was the food truck. This was the food truck, right? So these guys would actually follow the war and they would sell their goods. And so they have different people that they would follow. So like this is the vendor, M. Sullivan. He was a sutler. And that's, so most of them, I think all of them are marked sutler. I'm getting a specialty book on these. I can look it up. 25 cents in goods. The 55th Regiment. And I'm pretty sure that would be Ohio Valley with the OV. So pretty cool stuff. They are fairly scarce. From what I can tell, most of them are hundreds of dollars to start. This is a customer's piece, and it came back in XF details bent. You know, I mean, he would rather not say bent on it. You guys, you know, can all tell me if you think you would call this bent or not. You can see a little bit of a bend to it. They're actually kind of an interesting flan because it's closer to the size of a 20-cent piece. It's bigger than a nickel, but smaller than a quarter. But also they're kind of a thin planchet. I mean, look at how much room is left in the holder there. So really cool pieces of history. You know, Civil War tokens are fun because most of them you can just go on eBay and start buying them up at, you know, 10, 20 bucks each. And then you get addicted, and then you start getting expensive tastes, and before you know it, you're spending thousands of dollars on seller tokens. So go ahead, start with the easy stuff. Let's start with the easy stuff, and then go flying deeper. This 57. What happened here? I'm trying to think of if okay. The engineer had told me I think he had cracked this out, but I don't see the original holder with it. That I think he was trying to get an upgrade from a 7. And upgrading from a 7 isn't very easy to do. I hope I didn't mess that one up too much. Well, we had a couple of them actually now that I see. Okay, so this one, I'm certain he was going for trying to get a cameo on it. And it has the cameo appearance at the right angles, but straight on it's little flat, same, you know, pretty good cameo at a certain angle and then a little flat, and proof 67. Is this a type 1 and a type 1? Okay, well that's another video for another day, type 1s and types 2s. Let's go back to a couple classic coins, and then we'll figure out if we got stars upon some more coins that the engineer wanted to get stars upon. For someone who collects Indian head cents, or used to, I should say, always have that magical moment when you see an 1877, you know, a coin that, especially one like this is really attractive to me. You've got that wood grain finish to it, which I like. Some people don't. I've actually had guys say they won't buy anything with wood grain look to it. One of the things you'll see here is that you'll see on the ends, the bottom of the top end and the top of the bottom end, there's almost like a depression, the way the ends get smaller and flatter, weakly struck in the center. That is an indicator that it appears on all non-counterfeited 1877. So one of the few Indian head cents that you see a decent amount of counterfeits on. And so this guy here, VG10, and overall that's a nice looking coin and a nice grade. That guy, $700-800, something like that. And also, when it comes to Indian head cents, I tell you what, I really love the 1860s and early 70s. So once you get that 67, 68, 69, that whole window from 68 or 67 to 72 is to me just magic. When you see these coins, and I don't know what it is, it's just that post-Civil War, you know, kind of pre-Western expansion. Lovely, lovely coin here. AU58 brown, really cool. Got a little bit of red mint luster mixed in. You know, this is probably a $500 to $600 coin. I love seeing those dates with the full Liberty, and of course this one's nicer than that. It's got the full McGillicuddy there. It's AU58, but when you look at those guys and you've got at least a full Liberty on them up at the top, then you know you've got a good coin. All right, let's look. We're going to go through our stars series, and then we're going to go back to one last classic coin and call it a day. I didn't even warn you guys about getting popcorn because I'm just bringing lots of coins. So NGC has a pretty deliberate star system that they use for eye appeal, which is if you get a cameo appearance on one side but not on another, then they know they'll put a star on a coin. So we had a star video we launched because the engineer was pretty successful overall with a bunch of half dollars we sent in that he got stars on. And so we've got these 3 quarters, all of which he thought were nice enough to go with the cameo obverse and get a star. And you know, 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. So all came back proof 67, and all are probably in that $25 range. These things are going to be like up in my eyeballs here pretty soon. All right, last but not least, everybody knows what time it is when you're pulling out Abraham Lincoln. He's the showstopper, the king of the hill. That 1909S. Pretty magical coin as far as the cent collector goes. That 1 cent, There's your VDB. One of the things to look at, by the way, on the VDB is that the B, this is something that happens sometimes with counterfeits. The last initial, that B, actually the center bar in the B has a slight angle to it. Just as an FYI, I don't think I've ever really described that. But it should always have that slight angle to it. This is a pretty nice coin, actually. You've got the wheat stalks are really well defined. And of course, you don't have any luster to the coin, so you're going to drop it down. Probably that drops it below like an extra fine. But also you have most of your detail. So it's going to be a higher end VF, and that's exactly what we got on this coin, a VF35, probably a $1,200 or $1,300 coin. Very attractive, nice original surfaces. There you go, guys. Lots of fun stuff today. We just went all over the place from so-called dollars to Sutler tokens to rare dates to stars or no stars. Thanks so much for watching. I've been the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.